What's up, everybody? It's Eve. Follow me on Twitter and YouTube for space recordings and special live programs. 2024, we're doing things a little different if you haven't peeped game by now. So, yeah, this is your chance. You can do it now if you want. Hit the bell here on YouTube at JustEveB or find me on X at Justice, the number 4, Just Us. That's JUSTICE, the number 4, JUST_US. And if you feel so inclined, support my channel and the work we do over here. The Cash App and Patreon links are in the description. Black first. What's up? What's up, everybody? It's Eve, and I'm joined with our good sister, Tieesha of Time on X. Tieesha, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. How are you doing tonight? Hey, family.
Oh man, I'm so happy you're here with me, and I'm happy you're joining us tonight. I'm well. I hope you're ready, because man, it's gonna get deep tonight.
Yes, we gonna get it. We gonna get it. We ain't staying up late for nothing.
That's right. That's right. We ain't staying up late for nothing. No, some of y'all just be online all night long listening to somebody who will just talk your head off. And it's not just one person. No, I know y'all thought I was gonna go there, but I'm not. I mean, I am, but not right now. No, I've jumped down some rabbit holes recently, and I've found that that's the same across different platforms. There are people who will just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, and y'all will just listen and listen and listen. So no, we would like to make this a productive, constructive conversation, especially during this special month of Black Media Appreciation. So, Tieesha, thank you for being here and thank you for joining us tonight. Tonight, I want to talk about cults and groupies. And I don't know if you guys were in here for the first one. Shout out to Yoshi Mod. He helped me with the commercial for FBA Sunday School. I played it at the beginning. I'll probably play it at the end. But every Sunday, we are live with the minis talking about our story and why it's important to have the information that they've been hiding from us. And right now, I don't think it's really hidden as much as y'all don't really give a damn that it's out there. Or you do care, but you don't have time to do all of that with them. You know, you send them to school, you're at work, you come home, you're tired, eat dinner, do what you need to do. Don't even include me extracurriculars. And Tieesha, I know you're familiar, and then right now you're back at the beginning of that. So
Yes, but it is, I cherish every day.
definitely got to make sure that we are using our time wisely. So cults and groupies, our babies are so important to me, and I hope they're important to you. And the ones of you who have enrolled in Sunday school, I know that they're important to you because every Sunday you make sure that they're there, they've done their homework, they are prepared with open minds and good constructive conversation and questions. And I'm just so humbled that you've trusted us to give them this information, because I don't want them to be like how a lot of us are right now, and I include me in this conversation, because you find that something that you learned wasn't right, and then you say, okay, I can fix this, I can do something else. But then you find that you then hopped into the same shit with different people. I don't know, Tieisha, can we go there first?
We can definitely go there, and I'm so glad that you brought up this live stream and this topic tonight because I'll give a little bit of a backstory. For the past few days, well, for the past few months, I've been studying cults such as Jonestown Massacre, Heaven's Gate, different things like that. But if you don't know, I just found this documentary. It's a series on Netflix, and it's called How to Be a Cult Leader. It's kind of tongue in cheek, but it is hard hitting. Just it talks about the different cults around the world and how the cult leaders and the followers met their demise or their prison time. So this is right on point. And when you sit down and you watch these things and and me, I'm comparing these things to my journey, you know, from, going into religion, come out of religion to where I'm at now. And it's so relevant because you'll sit there and think like, nah, that couldn't have been me. How could these people do that? But when you do that self assessment, you're like, damn, you have to study these incidents and we have to not gatekeep this information. We can't just talk about it in passing. We have to teach the newer generations. Like we have a whole new generation right now that's being pandered to because they're the first time voters. We have to keep these subjects and these talks happening so that these same things do not keep happening time and time again, just with different players.
Absolutely, absolutely. In real time, you guys, I know you heard about what happened on Monday. And okay, you're gonna be like, Eve, a lot of stuff happened on Monday. What are you talking about? With Danielle. Did you guys hear about Danielle? I have a story. It's from MSN. It was written by Aria Bell 6 hours ago actually. And it talks about what happened on Monday. I'll go into it a little bit and then it kind of is related to what you were just talking about, just being in one side of things and then finding yourself on another side of things. And damn if that's not equally fucked up. Aria said an astrology influencer known as Danielle Ayoka, or Mystic X Lipstick, has left many shocked after being accused of a double murder suicide involving her boyfriend and children. And I know that that's not really what you guys want to talk about, murder, suicide, uh, or anything dark like that. But in real time, there's some really dark stuff happening, and people are being affected by it. But nobody really wants to talk about the reasons why. At least, not the real reasons why. According to Aria, well, not according to Aria, on April 8th, which I guess was Monday, uh, they were LA Police Department was alerted to investigate a dispute between Ayoka, and I guess her real name is Danielle Johnson, and her boyfriend, Jalen Cheney. According to Vibe, they had a disagreement that escalated, and then Johnson allegedly fatally stabbed Cheney. And then after the incident, Johnson fled the scene with her two children, an 8-month-old baby and a 9-year-old. Now, I just told you that the babies are so important to me, and I hope that they're
Mhm.
important to you. And right now, we've got an 8-month-old baby and a 9-year-old inside of this story because maybe people don't know what all happened. But Tieisha, you heard about it when it happened, right?
I heard about it day before yesterday.
Okay, so not quite when it happened, but
Mhm.
when you heard about what happened with the children, how'd you feel about that? Or what allegedly happened with the children? Because as it stands, there's still a lot of questions that need to be answered and asked for that matter.
Oh my gosh, it just put a dark cloud over me. As you know, I am a new mom again. So the children are so innocent and they should never be subjected to harm ever, especially from allegedly the hands of the one that brought them into this world, of their mother. My daughter, she is so attached to me. She is so attached to me. And it just breaks my heart to know that children, these two children, the one that was supposed to protect them allegedly did this to them. So I was angry, I was sad, I was disgusted, I was hurt, everything. Just wanted to protect these children, but I knew there was nothing that I could do.
Yeah. And that's the messed up part about hearing some of the stuff is that you want to do something, but you can't really do anything. You're not there. You don't know these people. And a lot of times we're not there and we don't know these people. So then it's
Mhm.
like we're spectators, bystanders. We're witnessing the aftermath of and to whatever was going on in Danielle's head to push your child out of a vehicle, and
Both of them.
right, both of them, to where the infant didn't survive and the other one has, they say, non-life threatening injuries, but
But
from
physical
what
and
videos,
emotional scars.
right, the mental injury and the psychological impact, the emotional impact, that's that's a lot more than, some scrapes and some bruises. So I don't know that we can say that the oldest one didn't have any severe life-threatening injuries either, right? Because
Time will tell.
only time will tell. Only time will tell. You are so right. Um, I yesterday, yesterday I happened across a space on X, and the space was talking about Danielle, or at least I thought it was going to talk about Danielle. And this is one of
Mhm.
the rabbit holes that I was telling y'all about. They said that they were going to talk about Danielle, so I'm like, let's go see what needs to be said or what's being said. And in real time, I didn't hear much of anything as much as I heard a lot of nothing. And if that's not familiar to me, I don't know what else, at least a very recent familiarity. Listening to some shit that sounds like it might be right, but what are we really talking about?
It was clickbait.
Clickbait as fuck, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at the damn space right now and it says for 8 hours and 33 minutes, 8 hours and 33 minutes, this man talked about, quote, Danielle Ayoka, lessons to be learned. And so far, 13,000 people have tuned in.
And like the first time I saw this person's post about it, they stated that they knew her personally and just went on about that. I'm like, okay. But as I continue to watch the post and see what this person is posting, it was absolutely a slap in the face. It's like you're spitting on the not even dug graves of these victims to include the alleged offender. This is the part that pissed me off, is because we have this problem. It happens in religion, but it also happens in this consciousness community. I'm heavy on the con right now. And during my journey away from Christianity, you go and like, okay, something is hidden. And for the fact that we're Black people here in America, and we're like, okay, our history is hidden. We have to go and find out who we are. We seek these different things. We're looking for answers. And it's a wonderful journey. I don't want to turn anybody away from reading books by our master teachers, finding old lectures, doing some traveling. Please do it. I'm still doing it. And it's a beautiful journey to find out our true history, not only on this continent, but the world. But when there are people out there who are manipulating and making shit up because it's their way of eating. They're not going to go out and work a regular job next to you and me and us. Their thing is to talk BS on these internet streets all day long, every day, and make up some stuff for you to come out of your pocket and give to them for just no effing reason at all. It's crazy, but I know you're going to get further into that, but it's like this is some bullshit, because the obvious was right there. These lives could have been this end for these three lives, actually four altogether, could have been avoided if steps was taken, if people were being proactive and stop playing these stupid games.
Absolutely. I man, in real time, I'm just going through his page, and y'all might be wondering who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Chaudi Ma'atra, and the reason I'm naming him is because I find it very disrespectful to use an ancient and sacred language for your nefarious fuckery. And if you're not nefarious, if you're not nefarious and you're
Mhm.
not participating and engaging in some fuckery, then I will publicly apologize for my passionate feelings about what I experienced last night in your space. However, for an hour, one of the 8 hours that you were live last night, I didn't hear anything that made sense with regards to Danielle Ayoka and why I even clicked on the space, because it wasn't that I wanted these lessons to be learned as much as you said that the mother was going to join. And as a mother, I find that, it's your responsibility from birth to death until you die to make sure that your mini is all right. And I don't mean just, pay their bill. I don't mean that. I don't mean make sure they eat all, they you got to teach them how to do things and then send them out the nest. I don't mean kick them out the nest like how y'all been kicked out the nest, some of y'all. I don't mean throw you to the wolves. I don't mean that. But I do mean that you're supposed to teach them the things that they need to survive and exist as functional adults, right? And then in real time, sometimes we baby them. We, being Black mothers, we baby them, we coddle them, and we don't necessarily allow them to grow. Or we do the opposite. We're very stingy, withholding, telling them that they need to do more in order to get something from you, but you're their mother. It's a very weird spot. But I wanted to hear her thoughts because I I find that I hold her extremely responsible for
Mm-hmm.
inaction. And why inaction? Because I read a lot of comments in this space, and people were saying that they saw the red flags and they saw that this woman needed help, but
Her
nobody
post
got
was
her
definitely
help,
off.
right? Like nobody got her the help. And if they did get her the help, again, I don't know everything. I'm just Eve. I'm not the authority on things, right? What I'm saying is that what I heard for the hour that I was in there, and to be, uh, I've already disclaimed this, that he was live for 8 hours and 33 minutes. So maybe in the other 7 hours it came up. Maybe the mom came up, but I don't think she did, Tieesha, because I saw today that the mom's having her own space, right?
And that is so beyond me. I'm like, okay, you lost your daughter tragically. Your daughter allegedly is responsible for someone else, another family losing their son brutally. And then not only you also have your grandchildren, your newest grandbaby is no longer here, and your grandbaby that survived is traumatized. Yet you find time to get online. I don't think this is a time for her to have anything to say or rear her head or look for attention. No, because I'm 17 months postpartum, but yet my parents were here with us every single day. I had no time to or no wiggle room to have any kind of postpartum blues or depression or anything like that because I know they would have swooped in immediately. Like when we have children, it's no longer about us, it's about our children. And grandparents love their children more than they love their children. So this was not the time to be up on social media. I'm sorry, I can't tell someone else how to grieve, but this right here was definitely inappropriate
And that's
because you should have seen this over this time that your child needed some help, not only help with, her daily duties, but also professional help because this was homicidal thoughts and suicidal thoughts that were carried out.
And
And
that's the thing, Taisha. I know that people are going to say that we sound very judgy tonight, and I think that that's missing. So, uh, this is no glass house situation. I know that I'm not perfect, and I've never espoused to be perfect. What I am saying that as a mom, maybe certain things happen first. But like Tieesha said, we're not telling her how to grieve. Maybe this is how she's grieving. But damn it, did you have to get here? Like what? Were there steps that could have happened to avoid what happened? And I know y'all are going to say, Eve, she's an adult, she's going to live her life. And some of y'all really do. Somebody is trying to help you and you say, no, fuck you, I'm going to go my own way. But damn it, if that doesn't sound cult like, and then you will, not you, Tieesha, but y'all will respond, Eve, this person is by themselves, they're doing their own thing. How is it a cult? But if you think about where people end up and what ideologies they take on, some of this shit is cult like. And when when you're vulnerable, then you'll take on a lot of the stuff that isn't really you. So then the people who are around you, they have to be steadfast. If they really fuck with you, then they will make sure that you get the help. And these babies, goddamn, these babies needed help. And um, my children, the Minnie's grandparents, all billion of them, because we have a very large family, they all would die for them in a big way. Uh, I've heard them change their ideology of voting blue no matter who, because of who them people fuck with and who they don't fuck with, right? So don't tell me that you're grieving now when you didn't have. I don't think it had to get here. But I haven't heard you speak, ma'am. I tried to hear you speak, and to a point about what Tieesha said, I don't know if this is the best time, because in real time, our brother Ogun Spirit lost a baby, and they didn't jump online to bitch, cry, moan, whine, or do anything more than, well, no, they didn't do any of that. I I
You
jumped
started the
online.
GoFundMe for them. You started that on behalf of the family, you know?
They
So
didn't want any of
no.
the attention, because they know what it looks like when we start saying that we want justice, and then some of y'all take the message and start doing too fuck much, and that shit is detrimental to our collective reparative justice. Because I'm sorry, all of these problems are directly stemming from racism, white supremacy. You can't move me off of that.
Mhm.
So whether you black, white, or whatever, if you're on the side of justice, speaking truth to power, then some of this stuff, when it falls in your lap, you make sure to speak truth to power across the board, even if you've done something along the way. I think especially if you've done something along the way, because we don't pedestalize people over here, right? It's about the message and not the messenger, right?
Mhm. And
But the
shout out to our family in the chat, the Reed family. Just want to give a shout out to them as well. I was thinking about all of us, and when I was watching this series, How to Be a Cult Leader, the dissenters, those who break out of the cult, it's something that snaps, and it's like, hold on, this shit don't make no sense, and then you back away from it. But and at times will not make noise about it because that's not what we're about. We're like, hold on, we're still trying to gather what the hell have I just involved myself in and what the hell is going on. And then you're that one that distances yourself but is noticed, and after a while you'll have those who would reach out to you like, hey, I've noticed this, but I'm thinking the same thing, I feel the same way, and your suspicions are validated, and I really appreciate the togetherness that we have, because as a group of dissenters and just stepping away from the bullshit but also not being afraid to call it out collectively, and just like we were subjected to things and got involved in things that we learned were no longer in our best interest. This here is a guide, it's a manual. If something was to happen to me where I lose my mind tomorrow. I worked around toxic chemicals when I was in the military. So it's like, if I lose my mind tomorrow, I want my future generations to know that I laid out a blueprint, some warnings for them to take heed to and to be aware of. And I don't
Absolutely.
want anyone that's like in our shoes a decade ago or so, to follow this same path. We are speaking out about things and letting these red flags. Okay. And then, but there were also green flags too, because I would not have known you, our family in the chat. So, the good things that come from it, but we have to assess these things, but we also have to call out the bullshit when necessary.
Call out the bullshit when necessary. Absolutely. We can't be afraid to do that. Why? Because that is the bystander effect. And
Mm-hmm.
Tieesha and I had a pretty good conversation about that as well. Check her channel out. It's up there. Um, I know that people are trying to figure out what cult was Danielle in, and I don't think that these cults have names, right? As much as it's a cult of personality. Like you find your people, quote, your people you think are your people who are like minded. And then from there, what is it that they're doing or not doing? And
Yeah, her page is still up on Twitter on X. Yeah, I forgot how you say, like, when I say I'm on X, it sounds like the other stuff, but no, on X, formerly known as Twitter. Her page is still up, and she also has a website. And I don't know if you'll bring that up or show that, but I very well, once I left Christianity, I kind of went to go research things that were deemed taboo or of the devil or evil. I'm like, okay, I'm just looking to see, I guess, to expose myself to it so I would not have a fear of it, and take this whole mysticism out of it. And I went through that whole thing, tarot cards. Tarot cards, I got put on the tarot cards as a little girl watching the people under the stairs. Starts out with the tarot cards. So it's for entertainment purposes only. I remember coming up, my mom and my aunts and stuff like that, they used to call Miss Cleo and Dionne Warwick psychic. So we just have to keep bringing these things up because, like I said, I think someone in the chat mentioned it, where they'll change their game every couple of years and recycle themselves and come back as something else. Call the bullshit out. I was getting into the whole, spirit science channel here on YouTube. That was a waste of time. You get into the whole buying crystals and balancing your chakras and your rotini energy. That is a bunch of bull. And so on her website here, there's one tab. I could, if you want to go to that, or if you want to give a brief on or your initial thoughts of this website here. And yeah, I got into all that with the whole Mercury retrograde, all that stuff. Now, starting off, I was a science nerd. I was raised on Bill Nye the Science Guy. So, I don't want to say I trust the science because we saw what they did with that. But, I know that there is an explanation to a lot of things. But
you guys, as a person who definitely appreciates spirituality, signs, numbers, astrology, zodiac, I love
yep.
all of that. What I don't like is the con. And the con happens like does it? I hope I said that right. Shout out to you in the chat. I posted it on the screen. The sad part is when people break free of religion, they're looking for answers, and people prey on them because they know these people are vulnerable. Absolutely. And what you find is, again, like-minded individuals. So if you're a person who said that, spirits make sense or crystals make sense, because I don't know that any of those things don't have value as much as the people who are using them on the people understand the value and understand that y'all don't care about anything more than their voice. Because if you did, then you would read the books. You would do your own research and
Mhm.
to your own conclusions. And this is not a program. This is a show. You're allowed to have your own thoughts
Yeah.
over here because I don't want that. I don't ever want it to be where all of us are saying the same thing if it's not speaking about our reparative justice or about our Black families in a positive way that makes sense, right? Everything else is very judgmental, and it's judgmental in a way that, don't you have something else to be doing? Don't you have some life to be lifing for you to have so many thoughts about somebody else's life, right? But no, in real time, people are using what they know against people who don't care to know, and then insert Danielle and her babies who have now succumbed to the fact that she couldn't find herself inside of finding herself, because that's what it is. You go from one to one to one because you're trying to figure out who you are. That's part of our reparative claim. Like other people who don't find themselves, I'm sorry that you're having an issue finding yourself. Maybe speak more about Black Americans, reparative justice, and a rising tide will lift all boats. Your place in this world will make more sense. If you don't want to do that, then I don't know what to do to tell you. But to the rest of y'all, my lineage and my cousins across the water, whatever. Look, our our confusion is a part of why we are owed. If you can't tell me where you're from, it might be because they tried to hide where you're from. They might have destroyed the evidence of you being from such and such a land, such and such a place. And that's not just here, but I'm here. I got to speak about our claim here. Wherever you are, you speak about your claim there. And collectively, we can overthrow the global system of racism, white supremacy overnight. But we got people waiting to see how we move before they move, and then they move a little bit, and they wait to see how we move. I can appreciate the pause as much as I can appreciate that we've been a constant example of what it looks like to fight back. So people saying that we don't need to have conversations like this are cowards. People who say that they don't want to hear this are asleep. And I'm over trying to wake somebody up who doesn't want to be here, right? If you don't want to be here, don't be here. It's simple.
It's definitely a big difference between living and existing, and that's one thing I try to do every day is live and make every day worthwhile. But as you said, it's too tiring to go and shake shake people and say, "Hey, look at this is right in front of your face." I take it, and others have set this example, be the example, and when they're ready, they'll seek you out. And you got to also seek out, your own knowledge as well. There are tons of books out there. I talk about this all the time. When I left religion, where they wanted me to only stay in the Bible, once I put that away, I discovered, oh my gosh, there are so many books out here. And that's what drew my curiosity to get different books on this subject. Okay, let's study this, let's study that, because I've read it for myself. The worst place you can go is to these damn Facebook groups. Oh my gosh, like I said, when I made that journey and I got in some of these African spirituality groups, black spirituality groups, it was just a bunch of Looney Tunes in there. Oh my gosh, I got so sick and tired of posts where they're cracking an egg in a glass of water and asking people to read it. They're um making crystal dishwaters and make this man leave his wife spells, and just a bunch of stupid stuff. It's just a bunch of, I don't know the right words to say right now, but it's just a bunch of loony females who get a crazy check on the first of month likely, and they do this stupid $5 tarot card candle reading for the rest of the month to make ends meet. And so I'm thinking, the struggle is real out here because folks don't have disposable money to buy your tricknology, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. So, folks, I said this back in 2020 when things had shut down. I said resourceful folks are going to be real sexy. Those who are just, NPCs, I think that's what they are. NPCs are gonna really feel these next couple of years because you just can't bullshit your way and cash app your way through all of this. This is crazy. But there was one thing on her website where she's selling alcoholic some kind of alcoholic spiritual awakening, and it's like you pay $12 and you're put into this system where you can still be spiritual, but you can have you a drink every now and then, and it's supposed to make your alcohol healthy. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah,
Like, do you
that's
not know what alcohol does to you? It's supposed to, what you're supposed to do in a sense is pay her $12, and then your next alcoholic beverage, you put good intentions in it, and somehow it's transformed into this good beverage for you. I don't know. It's really silly and asinine. I'm like, who in a right mind would pay for this dumb shit? It's really crazy. But Monday was the eclipse. And oh my gosh, it I that drove me freaking crazy because it's these loony bins. Facebook has become a insane asylum. It's just it's crazy. I don't even know. But it drove me crazy because you have mugs on one side talking about the apocalypse, these doomsday folks. Yeah, when I left religion, it was around 2013, 14. So at that time, you had Alex Jones talking about the end of the world, buy this tincture, buy your 30-day food kits and stuff like that. You stock up. And let me tell y'all who are going down this whole doomsday prepper route. There's a TV channel here in Georgia called Quest. And on the weekends, they show the old episodes of Doomsday Preppers that came out like around 2012 or something like that. And they were like, yeah, the world's supposed to come to an end. We're doomsday prepping. Let me tell you, these doomsday preppers, what they're doing right now is eating their expired canned goods. Okay. Because as you see, we're still here. And when the lockdowns happened, I had just moved to Georgia. My refrigerator was empty. I went to Aldi, stocked up my refrigerator, went and I picked up my son who's an athlete. We cooked all of our food at home. And when we ran low, we went right back to the grocery store, bought more food, came home. It was like nothing, these shortages, nothing like that happened. We did not lose power. We didn't have to go get our bug out bags and go in the woods. None of that. We sat and watched Naked and Afraid and watched them, tough it out in the woods and in the bush. But this whole end of the world shit is to get you to not focus on living. You'll be so focused on dying, the end, that you don't take time to enjoy every day. You're going to frivolously go through all of your resources to these ones who can predict this, predict that. But this Danielle Ioka chick, her Facebook post, I mean, a Twitter post in regards to the apocalypse and all that, it was definitely insanity. She was definitely manic. It was, and no one stopped to say, hold on, she's posting this crazy shit. She has babies there. Let's dial the suicide prevention hotline. And if y'all don't know that number, it's 988. I posted it in the chat. But these chicks definitely off their freaking rocker. And I thank the ancestors that I bypassed the red hair stage of life. I had like a copper, but I didn't go full Wendy's red. But this stuff right here is crazy. I'll turn over to you.
It is crazy. And while you were talking, I was sharing on the screen just Mr. Jahudi Ma'at Ra's page. Sir, I'm going to say your name because
Me and him been going back and forth all day. So you'll see his post on my page as well. Cause I called him out on it. I said, you did all this and post her name and do all this. The blood is on your hands and everybody else who ignored this. And this was happening right before your eyes. And no, it's not. The part that got me pissed all the way the fuck off is that they want to sit here and say, oh, it's a spiritual attack. There's dark forces. There's this, there's that. Stop this dumb shit. This was a woman in crisis. And y'all didn't do a goddamn thing about it. There's no, right here, dark entities and this 3D realm, the Matrix. The Matrix was written by a sister. I forget her name. It is a work of fiction. Okay. A work of fucking fiction. And then this whole dark energy and stuff like that. No. Mental issues. Mental issues that y'all did nothing about. It could have been postpartum depression. It could have been anything. But to go from what she was posting, which was insanity, gibberish, fearing the end, and then she carried out her homicidal and suicidal thoughts, carried them out. She had the means and opportunity to do it, and y'all still talking about this dumb shit posthumously after they've all passed away. Y'all talk about prayers. I'm praying for the family. What the fuck you praying for? Your prayers didn't stop it. You stupid ass. That's the thing that pissed me off. Oh my goodness. If your prayers ain't got no fucking power and then stop, no divine intervention, stop this to save those children, to save that innocent man who did not deserve his life to be ended that way. What the fuck is your prayers going to do after the fact? What is these spiritual forces? The only spiritual forces in dark people is you for not intervening and saving lives. Do something.
That's right. Do something. And I thought he was, because like I just showed you on his page, there was a tweet. It said, and I quote, I'll introduce Danielle's mother after sharing my personal views on Danielle, the occult, and then all the stuff that you were talking about. And to that point, I never had an issue with the stuff that he was talking about. What I had an issue with is he said, I'm going to bring Danielle's mother up now. And then she's waving her hand. She's requesting the mic. People are tagging her in the damn comments, and he is saying out loud, I don't see her. I don't know when she joined. You know, it was just a lot of that. And in real time, I'm like, fine, maybe he doesn't know how to work spaces. So people are trying to help him out. But as the minutes are turning into 10 minutes, it's turning into 20 minutes, I'm very concerned that he's not going to bring her up. And
Mm-mm.
maybe she doesn't need to speak right now, like we said, and maybe it was divine intervention, but whatever. He said he was going to bring her up, and then for whatever reason he didn't. And I asked someone in his comments said, y'all must not know who he is. This is how he is, has been for years since I found him on YouTube. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Are you saying that he's purposely ignoring this woman in the chat? And then they deleted their post. So I don't know. Jehudi, is this how you act? Is this how you operate? You clickbait shit? I don't know. But someone in our chat, shout out to you, Black American First. I think that's what that stands
Shout
for,
out.
BA First. The grassroots movement has different sectors that are cult like, and it does.
Absolutely.
It absolutely does. Um, I don't know where all you fall. It seems like you've got our flag. You've you've taken Black first and made it lineage first. I can appreciate that too. Um, but yeah, inside of our reparative justice claim, what we've kind of been talking about since we started, people are trying to find themselves. They're trying to find their people
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
you have people. Look, people out here telling you that you have to go at it on your own, or those are people who want you to be alone so that they can use you later. No, y'all have people out here, and everybody doesn't have to do the same thing. But inside of that, what are you doing? And if you're not doing anything, then be honest about not doing anything. We just over here shitting and giggling. Okay, cool. Shit and giggle over there is cool. But if you say that we're over here and we're doing Black empowerment, well, are you? What are the receipts? Where are the invoices? Are you listening to the messengers, or are you following the message? Because I find that inside of our grassroots movement, people don't listen to the message as much as they listen to the messenger. And that's a problem. That's very cult like. It cultivates groupies, you know?
That is very real. When I first heard about the individual that goes by Dehudi Mayatra, it was in this documentary called Urban Kryptonite. It was about poisonous food, toxic food, stuff like that. That's when I had first heard of him. And then it just came back recently. I think he was in another documentary, but when you go over to Twitter, it's like people you may know or paid us to follow. It was just suggested. So that's how it came about. But the regard that I held for him at the time seeing the documentary to the comments now, like he didn't have time to interview the deceased mother, but he had time to reply to every comment. He replied to every one of mine within minutes of me posting and replying. So yeah, this is just some old dude who got newfound attention and he's running with it. So yeah.
Speaking of old dudes and wanting attention,
Oh wow.
that was just for you guys. We're shitting and giggling over here. This is not a program. This is just a show for entertainment purposes. No, we hit all 9 areas, or at least I will try to do my best to hit
Mhm.
all the areas that I feel like I'm supposed to be talking about, entertainment being one of them. And if you weren't entertained by the old nigga on the screen, let me do it again for you. There you go. Old niggas abound. And it's a bunch of these niggas online who don't have anything to do on a Friday night. And this is no shade to any of you who are here with us on a Friday night. Constructive conversations are
Constructive.
necessary. So pat on the back for you. And a round of applause when I get one of those soundtracks, I'll do that.
Yeah, I
A
have
round of
one.
applause for, hey, there we go. For you participating in said constructive conversation. Because what I don't want to happen is I don't want to see the same people in the chat asking the same questions or having the same talking points or echo chambering. That shit gets old. And then it brings me back to my original question. What are we doing? This will not be a cult of Eve or a cult of Tieesha or a cult of sisterhood or no, this will be, well, I feel like we've been pretty explicit about what we talk about. We talk
It's
about
funny.
shit, right?
It's funny that you mentioned that because you got to have your own individual thought and you have to have your own boundaries, principles, and morals. For example, since brother uh Jason Reed is here, there was some internet things going on about back in, like, I think it was toward the end of 2022. At that time I was like 8 or 9 months pregnant. And I did not want to join on this bandwagon to just repeat what other people's beefs are. I didn't want to do that. I'm like, he was there for me at a point in my life where I really needed a friend. And the reads were there. And here I am, I'm 8 or 9 months pregnant. And I remember I got a tag in some kind of group, and it was like, I forget who the old dude was, but it was like, call me out, explain yourself. Why are you rocking with him? And I'm just thinking to myself, like, I am not wasting my husband's internet arguing with your ass and your so-called wars. Like, I'm 8 months pregnant. Go to hell. So as a result, I got the boot out the group, which was good because I'm like, it wasn't doing shit for me in the first place. But I share that quick story. I never talked about it before. I've told a few people about it, but I'm like, that's some bullshit. And when it comes to these cults and cult like behaviors and mindsets, someone had mentioned it in the chat. Some of these dudes can be disrespectful as hell. Now, I'm not painting and saying all. I'm saying, but there's sprinkles of those in there who would just be disrespectful as hell, but they'll post, love black women, and they think it's loving on black women by posting, semi nude pictures of them on their Instagram stories and just bullshit. It's like, why are you posting this? Who wants to see this? You really have to watch out for that. And I warn young sisters, when you notice like these sexual deviants, stay the hell away from them. Get away quick, because they will see you as an object. They will see you as something to disrespect. I'm like, dude, who are you? Like, why are you tagging me and wanting to call me out? I'm 8 months pregnant. Go to hell. The dude that you caping for, his wife just had a baby, and she ain't posting this shit on her timeline, and you ain't calling out her, and she going to bed with him every night. So leave me the fuck alone. So yeah, it's crazy. So call that shit out. Don't stand there and fall in with the group think when you see one that's being outed, and you jump on board to get them. Take a moment to think and really assess and see what is going on, and come up with your own reasons. If you wanted to disagree with someone and cut ties, make it your own decision, but don't make up something just to fit in with everybody else, because before you know it, is your ass that they're gonna be coming after.
That's real. And yeah, let's give another shout out to the Reeds because they've been consistent. Y'all cannot like them or whatever. That's the cult of personality. Look, uh, to me, and I'm just Eve, and you don't have to feel like me because I've already said that. But if a person is speaking about our reparative justice, specifically who is owed what now, and they got a black family, a melanated family, I don't know what more I could ask for someone else, because I really don't even feel like I should ask for anything. No, we're not owed anything, you entitled motherfuckers. But if you're gonna ask, then maybe your ask makes sense. And from there, the cult of personality, like has been said in the chat, you're not allowed to go away from the group. You have to think the same things. And if it's disrespectful, it doesn't matter because the messenger allowed it. And on the screen, I'm sharing this because this is the type of shit that I'm getting in real time. Mr. Antoine Cravens, brothers and sister, we gotta speak up for our authentic activist icons now, or we won't have any. This reeks opportunist, and truthfully, all of our movements had them. Just a few years ago, this was a fangirl who gained relevance from raising funds for black media slash him now claims he owes her a bag. The math ain't mathin', all right. And Mr. Cravens, the math ain't mathin', all right. And for what she said, I would agree with most of what she said. We do need to speak up for authentic activists now. Opportunist, I think you might not know who all is using whom. And for what it's worth, my personal story about what is going on, I didn't have to do any of this. I could have just fought my battle privately, silently, and then allowed you guys to continue to be used.
But
But
that's what they want the victims to do, is to go off somewhere and hide and be quiet and not bring things to front. I mean, let's go ahead and put it all on the table. We would have never known what was happening between consenting adults until one of those so-called adults made things very public and very criminal.
amen.
Allegedly. Okay. We all would not, I would have known anything. We all would not have, because you kept it 100. You was quiet about it. If you was such a fangirl, you would have been sneak taking selfies and posting them and whatever. You did not do any of that. You kept what was going on behind closed doors, which is what it should be.
And honestly, to my detriment, because in real time people like Jason Reed were telling me, I don't know if this is where you want to be, Eve. This is, everything's not what you think it is, Eve. And because I was very much on my delineation, if you're speaking against someone that I believe is of our lineage in a disparaging way, I don't know that I'm going to hear it from you. And that's been the argument that I've seen against him, is that he's not of the lineage, so he can't speak about this shit. I say he can speak about it because he was one of the main people speaking up for. And this is how I know y'all don't know what the fuck you're talking about, because most of his audience is not like me and not like Tieesha. What do I mean? I mean that this nigga is the tether whisperer. Uh, Jason Reed being the tether y'all love to hate. Man, when the math wasn't mathing, he didn't even get messy. He just said, the work doesn't stop. And he continued to be in school. He continued to do the work. And as much as he doesn't like the cult of personality, he understands that some of y'all niggas is just gonna have to learn it the hard way. Like Eve. Eve's just gonna have to learn it the hard way. And damn it, Mr. Reed. Okay, the hard way sucks, but I'm glad that I'm not Miss Ioka, because in real time, I could not be here. And I don't think that y'all realize that these manipulative narcissists have a very real and dark play and use you to death, love you to death. You are a willing sacrifice when you're completely gone, like Danielle, like me. And I say like me because I followed all the rules. I did all the different things, right? And then, okay, so I get shitted on. Let me just get back to the work, because the work doesn't stop. I haven't stopped working. And then in real time, the math ain't mathing in a big way, because Mr. Black Empowerment said, fuck two of the people in Virginia who are speaking up for our reparative justice, because my heart is broken. So I would rather them just completely remove themselves from the conversation than do anything that makes sense. And in real time, y'all niggas fell for the fucking bait, hook, line, and sinker, to the point where I question a lot of some of y'all men, some of y'all sexuality. That shit is very rainbow-ish to me, but maybe it's just maybe you didn't have a daddy. I don't know. I'm not even gonna put that on them either, because some of y'all did and you just stupid. Um, the cult of personality is real, and like someone said in the chat, it's a bunch of different personalities that people are conglomerating behind, and it's because we are a broken people, and people have studied us, but we don't study us, not enough. Because if you did, then you wouldn't shit on black first as much as you would try to understand it. You would try to understand where it all came from. And I know you'll have contemporary people saying that they are who brought it out and that they're the reason. No, no, black first actually goes way back. It's an ancient story, and every time we get fucked up, it's because we get on some tribalism clicky shit in the worst way. Not like tribalism clicky, I'm gonna come help you with your borders and then you come help me with mine. No, fuck your borders, I'm gonna take care of me. And then the cycle repeats itself. I don't think it has to, as much as like minded individuals are going to conglomerate and amalgamate together, and everybody else is going to do whatever it is that they're doing because sheep go on sheep. But if you're speaking truth to power, I think that that message is stronger. So, cult of personality or not, I know people who don't like me who have said that all of this is really fucked up and how is this black empowerment? And I know they don't like me. So I know that there's something there. And if there is something there, then it's a conversation that needs to be held. So I'm very humbled that you are here taking time away from your baby to have this conversation with me, Tieesha, because niggas is scared. You know, I have spaces and I have 50 plus people in the window liquor section because they don't want their daddy to know that they're listening to what I have to say. But
That's the thing, and I appreciate that. And one thing real quick is to Jason Reed is that, I didn't get into that whole war thing because it's like that T word does not apply. He dedicated more years to the US military than I did, and I was born here. So that's time that none of us will ever get back. And if it's one thing that is going to show us that time is moving, it's been, 10 years in my journey. He's given 20 or 20 plus years to the military. We're getting older. We're getting too old for this dumb shit. We absolutely are. And we're no longer, the juveniles or the young ones where, okay, we can look silly and make, mistakes and have time to recover. Age is not waiting up and time is not slowing up for any of us. The only thing that we have left is to preserve and protect the time that we have here with our children and our future generations to ensure that they are on the correct path and they don't, waste time getting sidetracked and stuff like that. That's my 2 cents on that. But when it comes to, as you mentioned, names and these cults of personalities and stuff, the name you see right here on your screen of me, that's the name that's on my birth certificate. So you can look me up. You can find out who I am. I tell you all my damn business. I ain't got no secrets. So when it comes to these wannabe influencers, whether it goes to influencers, speakers, spiritual teachers, and leaders and stuff, if they're coming to you hiding behind something, that's your first red flag. Look these mother jokers up, okay? I remember when I worked in recruiting, we used tools like Spokio. I don't know if that's still a thing. That I don't know if that just aged me, but we use tools to look up people, and those who may look at us and say, "Oh, you're judgy, you're judgy." In the church in Christianity, we used to hear "judge not," and that was the worst thing. I used to get on mugs about that because every aspect, every part of our lives should be judged. We should judge everyone accordingly. When we go to the doctor's office, we're judged by our medical history. When we go and apply for a loan, we're judged by our credit history. When we go, when we're pulled over on a traffic stop, we're judged by our DMV driving history. You go to court, you're judged by your criminal history. The only part that we're not supposed to judge in is our private life. And that could be the most detrimental. We need to judge every goddamn thing. You need to judge what you put in your mouth, put on your ass, what you wash your ass with, everything. Judge it, scrutinize it, and make a wise choice. Discernment is not just something that we repeated in church in the Bible. Discernment it should be used inside and outside of a belief system. It should be used every damn day.
Absolutely. And I'll just play devil's advocate for a moment because I was live with Dr. Winters this week, and I find that he gives me pause because he's been here longer. He knows a lot more than me, and he takes the time to talk to me every Wednesday and you guys. So inside of that, we should be less judgy, and the reason we should be less judgy is because that glass house type of situation. However, I'm 1,000,000,000% on your side of what we ingest. We should scrutinize the, to to a fault, because if you don't care what you're putting in, then you shouldn't care what you're putting out. And what I find is a lot of y'all say that the math ain't mathin', we're owed a check, we're owed reparative justice, black first. You say a lot of things like that because of your life. Now I'll give you that. But then what are you doing to fix it? Are you doing anything to fix it? And that's where the math stops mathing, because while you're talking a good talk, your actions are falling flat. And I don't mean that you have to go outside right now. What I mean is that if you don't know if your state has a task force, then you are already 10 steps behind. And then if your state does not have a task force, it doesn't mean that it can't. It just means that it's your job to do what you need to do. Or maybe, well, happy new Black Media Appreciation Month. Maybe you can't speak up because you don't have the words, but you found someone who does speak your language, is speaking truth to power in a way that makes sense for you, and you give them support. But inside of your support of this voice, does the math? I can say that shout out to Professor Black Truth for acknowledging New Black Media Appreciation Month, because uh, if if you guys didn't want him there, then I guess he wouldn't be there. Y'all want him there, so he's there. And I guess he really appreciates that you like what he has to say, because he's not out here judging people. But again, judging people, the people that you judge, maybe the people you sleep with, judge those people. Maybe the people you have around your minis, judge those people, but understand that people are people. I don't want us to pedestalize anybody as much as I want people to be who they are authentically. If you're a fuckboy slimeball, be that, because I promise you there's a bunch of fuckboy slimeballs out there that don't want to know that they're out there. They want the company. Maybe they don't want your company, but it might be comfortable for them to know that y'all are out here in droves. And oppositely, if you are a person who really wants us to get what's owed to us, then you would do things that look like that as well. I think that well, thank you, Chris, for saying so. Courage and truth telling.
Very welcome.
Our ancestor, Dr. King, spoke truth to power in a big way, and they murdered him for it. And then you'll have people saying that that's why they use aliases, and that's why they hide behind the shadows, and that's why they are wizards behind the curtain, just pulling the strings of the puppets. And I say shame on you, because like Tieesha just said, a lot of us are using our actual names out here. Why? Because they already know who we are. And I know that y'all know that they know who we are. Here's my challenge, because nobody's been able to debunk this challenge, this thought of mine. Because they know who we are, why are y'all fighting so hard about who we are or what to call ourselves? They know who we are. We tell them cut the check to the descendants of the people who were here in 1860, and that makes everything very simple. But no, y'all want to say that because they didn't call us freedmen, or because they didn't call us FBA, or because they didn't, fuck all that. They call me purple polka dot people eat. I don't give a shit. Cut the damn check. Why? Because it's owed. From there, then, maybe we can talk about what they call us, but really they don't fuck with us. So why would you expect them to give you any respect and call you what you want them to call you? They don't give a shit about your name. They tell you off rip, if you don't have a name like Christopher or James, then you're not someone to be taken seriously. No, don't have a name like Tieesha. Don't have a name like, oh, I don't know. Let's see who's all in the chat. Don't have a name like Kareem. Shout out to you, Kareem.
Shout out.
Because those names are not acceptable. But then what the fuck are we talking? We're using their talking points to say that we need to move like them because that maths. Okay, so we've been moving like them for how long? How many of y'all got names like Ashley, Jennifer, and Brian, and we still haven't gotten our reparative justice? So I call cap. I'm sorry. I call that just a lie. Y'all are confused, and you don't have to be, because the information is at your fingertips. If you're joining us live or recorded, you have the computer, internet, infinite information if you want. But maybe you're afraid. You're afraid of a faceless figure, and I think it's past time for that. It's past time to put faceless figures away. And I don't mean don't use them. I mean put them in the category that they need to be in. If someone's reading you the news, giving you news that you can use in real time, that's great. Use it. If someone is telling you how to live your life or how to have relationships, then maybe you would want to see the evidence that shows that they have a relationship or a life that looks like something you want to live. But y'all don't ask those questions. And I don't understand why you don't ask those questions, because the people that you listen to tell you to ask those questions. But let me not tangent there too much, because as it stands, we have been on here for a little while. Um,
Definitely, you brought up a great point, and definitely salute to you for Black Media Appreciation Month, and I really appreciate you doing that because it's definitely necessary that we highlight us who are using our internets and our social media platforms in a constructive manner. We could do all types of things with it. We can do all types of just crazy things, but doing some stuff that the platforms that be are definitely trying to suppress, but we haven't stopped. We continue to push forward, and I just want to say thank you to everyone who continues to support this. You brought up a good point about getting what's owed to us, and I think it's necessary to bring up those who are coming in. No one checked their paperwork, where they'll have a whole history of just bad things, and they find a way to scam and get all of this money out of the people, and come to find out they're nothing but another distraction. So
Absolutely. You got me thinking about what's his name out of Atlanta.
right here in Georgia. I see. I never heard of the guy. I never heard of the guy. Surprisingly.
Um, and he just got exposed for, well, no, he just got charges, not char. He was found guilty on lots of different fuckboy charges, from revenge porn to child abuse type stuff, and just, man, it look, if y'all did the paperwork on some of these people, then maybe you would know why they go by names like Nature Boy. And then, to Kareem's point in the chat, you name yourself something solid, something kingly, something royal, and you will have niggas saying, Kareem, why'd you name it? Why not Kevin? Yeah, Kevin's so much easier to pronounce. It's easier to spell. It's easier on me to not have to move my tongue to say anything that doesn't sound like white people talk. Man, look.
It's so funny you brought up it's these goofy ass chicks that call me. I'll go ahead and put out there from the VA and call me hood as hell, and just when they call me, can I speak to Tieesha E6? I got to the point that I just started telling them they got the wrong number, hang up the phone. Try it again. You know good and goddamn well that say Tieesha. You know, just pissed me off.
It really does, man. And then
And I'm like, what's your name? Marquita? Like, you know, you goddamn well that that's Tieesha with your dumb ass. Oh, that's
not your name
another
was
story.
Marquita. Look, it's the niggas. It's a lot of time. It's the niggas. I find that for the most part, the pale people, they go out of their way to try to pronounce because they want to be socially correct. They want to
Mm-hmm.
be politically correct. Um, and in real time, we are more judgmental about some of that stuff, but we should be more judgmental about some of the other stuff. The math ain't mathin' because y'all niggas think that 2 + 2 = fish because that's what the messenger told you. And I'm just over here, I got 2 fingers on one hand and 2 fingers on the other hand, and neither one of that shit looks like fish. I just want y'all to make sense.
The
uh,
math ain't mathing because if you ask some of these folks about math and they'll say, oh, I don't like math. Oh, I'm not good at math. Or they'll try to take a path in life where they avoid math. That's why the math ain't mathing.
That's right. That's right. Actually, I talked to Dr. Winters about this too, why people hate reading and math so much. But I know that it's because y'all were in a system. Most of you guys were in a system, and that education system was not designed to teach you as much as it was designed to make you an assembly line worker. You're not supposed to have any thoughts as much as you're supposed to move when the bell says move. I
The
get
cult.
all of
The
that.
cult.
It is. It's the beginning of the cults. And then from there, as an adult, you will find that you've put yourself in a cult and you didn't even know. Because say you're a Democrat and then you have a dissenting opinion. Like, for example, Joe Biden saying that he's done things for Black people. And then you have a very valid question: what has he done for Black people? The response is, well, DACA and immigrants and this and that. And none of that is speaking about Black people. You have one simple response: that's not Black people. And now you're just evil. You're just the plight of all of us, and you're a Trump worshiper, and you're going to be the reason that America goes back into slavery. And don't you niggas remember that your ancestors died? And it's like, whoa,
Mhm.
this escalated hella quick. And
Right.
all I did was ask a simple question, or I'm sorry, all I did was point out one big flaw. One simple big flaw, and you won't even go there with me. No,
It's not as bad as questioning Jesus.
look, it's as bad as, look, D Griff in the chat. D Griff in the chat. They when you ask someone, well, what do they look like? The niggas tell you, well, you're gay because you want to know what niggas look like. Okay, but in real time, I have DMs from people who, I will just say this. Y'all were right. I was talking to him, but I hadn't quite met him yet, but I was talking to him. So for the most part, I haven't lied to y'all. People who ask me, do you know this nigga? Like, why is he talking like this about you? Y'all must know each other. No, we don't know each other. No, 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 because I'm not messy. And inside of that, the DMs say, well, how do you know he's not white? Or how do you know he's not a computer? And I'm like, if y'all think he's white or a computer, why are you listening? That's a very real question I've always had. And
Here's a question for them. It's like, okay, when you take a step back and think about it, nowadays folks are so afraid to answer the front door if they don't know you coming over or know who it is or can't see you on the video doorbell. So you won't answer your front door for a stranger and let them in. Hell, be a phone number that calls them that's not stored in their phone. They're not going to answer it. So you need to verify, everyone and everything. And that applies to, what you let enter your home, your phone, your brain, your ears to your brain. Just question everything. Question everything.
look, question the fact that people are so comfortable talking shit about Umar's grit money, but in real time, we're raising funds for a documentary that had already been filmed. Like, I look, here's my thing about raising funds for something. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. If you haven't made it yet, it's coming to a city near you. No, coming to a theater near you. It's not out yet, and then you need help to get there. I get that. I really do, because in real time, if you go to my Twitter page, the pinned post is a billboard that we put up in Scranton, Pennsylvania. And the only way that we were able to do that is because we decided collectively that that shit needed to be said. And while we don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars to put it up everywhere, and okay, that's an exaggeration. You don't need hundreds of thousands of dollars. Niggas lied. No, I just don't. I'm not balling. I don't have it like that. I couldn't do it by myself. And I put out the word. I threw the hat in the air, right? And the niggas descended and said, hell yeah, we need that. So then we did that. And that's that's that matters to me, that we can do things together if we really want to, which is why the museum, I'm cool with the museum. I know Jason Reed don't like the museum. Wow. All right. But to me, symbols like that are math that we can use. Why? Because if you see that 11,000 people was able to raise $1 million, more than $1 million, well, then maybe you find 11,000 people. There's more than 40 million niggas in the country. And you can't find 10,000 people. Okay, yeah, that's a lot. But let's go a little bit deeper. If you knew that 881 people were able to raise $100,000, would you not try to go find your 880 people? Or no, you can't do that either, because that math doesn't math to me. But you want to tell me that the messenger says that, you can't do this and this, or that the messenger said that you shouldn't listen to this person or this person. Well, if the math is mathing, then the messenger's paperwork will clear just fine. But you can't tell me that I can't see this person, or I can't see the work that they're doing. Oh no, Eve, billboards and documentaries. That's no, niggas. That's information sharing. That's media. We have a whole month where you can show appreciation for media. And from there, what about the rest of the month? What are you doing the rest of the time? Because you can't just keep telling me that you're supporting people who are speaking, and then the message that they're speaking, you're not going out and participating in. You're not pulling up. So, okay, you joke about pull-ups, but then you don't go anywhere. What's that about? You joke about people and how they talk. You tell people to look it up, but then you're not speaking up publicly about our reparative justice as much as you're speaking behind a screen.
It's like a puppet master.
It is a puppet master, because this person behind a screen goes to meetings and speaks to people who will do something about our reparative justice here in the state of Virginia. I don't
Actually,
know that.
I think that's one of the, what is it? One of the 48 laws of power. I think it's like have others do your bidding, but I forget the term. I'm sitting
No, you're
with
right.
low light over here, but this one of us like have others do your bidding and make your ideas seem like their own.
Absolutely. And for y'all to be these 48 laws of power studying motherfuckers, y'all don't get it. I mean, maybe some of you do, but most of you won't even read it. It's like you'll just listen to someone saying that this is how you move or this is how people move, and you're like, yeah, because I'm not going to do the work. So, yeah. But again, make the math, or don't. Be a person who doesn't speak the things that they, doesn't do the things that they speak. You just know that Eve's going to say that you don't eat this, drink this, breathe this, live this, if the paperwork don't add up, because that's that's a false. I was gonna say something else. That's just lies. I'm trying to give big words for things that don't need big words. Don't be a liar, because if you're a liar, then maybe you want to cultivate some groupies. See what I did there? No, these people who spin these wonderful stories don't give a shit about you. They really don't, because if they did, then they wouldn't spend so much time telling you what to do. You would see that they're out here getting it done. So shout out to Tariq for the museum symbol that people don't like, because I think some symbols are necessary. And again, in real time, Shit, 10,000 people, $1 million. That's not a lot of people, y'all. It's not. It's not a lot of people. 1,000 people, you can reach 1,000 people. And maybe you're not gonna be the person that they go see, speak. No, but you can send it as much as y'all share shit on this app and on these platforms, you could make it your duty to find one new random ass person on the app to share the message with. Spam these niggas. Like, why not? Y'all get porn spam all the time, at least if you're on X. And then on YouTube, you will fall down the rabbit hole of some mukbang or some fucking third world country that's playing a soda color game because we got first world problems over here. Like, what are y'all doing? No, if we can get spammed, then we can spam. And if we start spamming, then maybe they say that the easier way is to give these niggas what they're asking for so that we can get back to productivity. But I guess maybe most of y'all don't want to be productive. Maybe most of y'all just want to talk shit and eat bacon. I don't know. Man, um, to the room, you guys have been super troopers with us as we talk about
I
cult
love y'all.
groupies. Um, I never want to end a conversation without giving some solutions because, we can talk about problems all the time,
Mhm.
all the time. Oh, and actually, before we get to solutions, I did have something else I wanted to show you guys. I want to show you this. Oh, yeah, it didn't share because I'm slow sometimes. Hold up. Wait a minute. Actually, while I do that, Tieesha, tell them where they can find you and anything that you've got coming up.
All right, appreciate it. Hey y'all, I am Tieesha Essex, Tieesha, last name Essex. I'm here on YouTube. I won't say I'm taking a hiatus, but I've not been as active on social media. It's just getting on my nerves. But I want to get back into my creative process, and I love creating videos. And I'm here on YouTube right now. I'm kind of talking about gardening, just new family life. I'm also going to start posting about my postpartum journey, getting back to, my pre-pregnancy weight as well as toning up and just, trying to stay healthy as long as I can and make it to my 100th birthday. I'm also the owner of Tieemonics. I have not been putting out a lot of self-defense content, but I need to because we can never get too relaxed. So I'm going to start uploading some more content now that the weather has warmed up. You can find that at tieemonics.com. That's Tiemonix.com. You'll find everything there from holsters, knives. If you have questions, that's my thing. You can hit me up. You can send me a message. I have brothers and sisters contacting me like, hey, I'm headed to the range for the first time. I'm headed to purchase my first toolie. What are your insights? Hit me up because I know how it feels to go into these shops and the first thing they want to do is judge us. And I can let you know the first thing they'll try to do is put some cheap ass Jimenez arms in your hands and you walking out with the first 48 special, So definitely hit me up. All things self defense, anything like that. I'm here in Georgia, so I'm here in Macon, Georgia. So you'll see me out and about, hiking, walking around, and stuff like that. But just definitely happy to be here. Definitely happy to be back with the family and putting out constructive content.
Thank you for that. And for whatever reason, the the thing that you sent me to share, it's not wanting me to
Don't
share
put that
it.
on me.
No, I happened across a conversation between Mr. Ma'atra and Tieesha, and this nigga said, melanated people are some of the dumbest people on the planet, failing somebody you haven't seen in 3 to 4 years. Credentialed? Where do you get your credentials from? What credentials did Jesus, Moses, and Muhammad have? And damn it, that goes back into my problem with some of these people. You use these ancient words that have meaning for your fuck shit, or you say something that sounds like it makes sense, like, yeah, credentials. And then people who you're saying doesn't have these credentials that we're saying matter, but you're taking it out of time context. Like how dare you try to compare yourself to Jesus, Moses, or Muhammad? And and then what are you saying, really? Like, are you saying that their way is the way and don't question anything? Because I don't even think Jesus said don't question things as much as he said
I'm
stuff.
laughing. I was like thinking to myself, evil, evil live in a haunted house.
Right? No, I do. When
I'm
demons is trying to get me, it's too funny. I Nah, my man got home, and
like, greetings to the family.
he says, "Hey, hey, I was trying to find you on his page because I know that the tweet is there, and it's crazy how fast he was responding to some stuff. Because I swear for like an hour, he was just like, I can't find her in the chat. I can't find her. I don't know how to find her, and I'm like, damn, you must not know how to use Twitter." But clearly, all these posts, hours and hours and hours later, and all these responses, hours
It's
and
funny
hours
because
and
it's
hours
like
later.
when he commented that like Jesus, all this other stuff, it's like, bruh, if you gonna sit up here and rock a comedic name but talk about Jesus, like, bruh, you already done messed up. You already messed up.
Facts. Yeah,
You
don't
are
do
you
that.
already done messed the whole thing up. But it's I don't even know what to say. I was just really the whatever regard I held him in prior to this exchange, it just went completely down the toilet. It's like I should just stayed in the church. But
No,
just
no. That is actually what happens though, you guys. This is what we talked about earlier. You will leave one system because it's broken, but then the system that you find yourself in doesn't make sense either. You find yourself talking to people like this who is like, okay, it sounds like support. It looks like support, but then what the fuck are you talking about? Like, people have so many thoughts about what other people should do. So, like we said tonight, we have very real thoughts about what you ingest. But for what? Why do we give a damn about what you ingest? Well, it's because of your output, silly motherfucker. Because if you're out here spewing toxicity, then I could be affected by that shit. And I don't want to be. And I could be affected by it in a way that I didn't even choose to be affected by it. Why? Because again, like minded individuals, they find each other. People who are speaking the same things find each other. And in real time, people speaking truth to power about our reparative justice, that's a message that I can get behind. It's something that makes sense. But don't ask me to listen to a message that tells me to check my sources to make sure that, I'm not listening to no old niggas. No. Because if I listened to an old nigga, then maybe I would have never met Dr. Winters. This vast resource, this person who's deciphered ancient texts, this person who some of y'all favorite thought leaders have used, and you don't even know. Why? Because they're just like you. They don't want to give no credit where it's owed. They want to take and take and take because you'll give and give and give. And in real time, you'll hear that we don't have the poor righteous teacher ideology in the forefront anymore. No, we will not have our authentic leaders speaking truth to power die in poverty. But in real time, I don't know that Dr. Winters is taking trips like how he wants to. Maybe I don't know if he wants to take trips either. I just know that I don't think he's living on the high hog like how y'all espouse our thought leaders and people who didn't have to say shit who did. He's not benefiting like that. So maybe for New Black Media Appreciation Month, even though he is one of them old niggas, he is an elder that didn't have
the
to.
difference between elders and elders, definitely a big difference.
Huge difference. And the elders, they have something to tell you, and they don't have to keep talking. But for while they're here, They haven't given up on you, but I say that that is their fight now, because in an advisory capacity, you cannot be boots on the ground, because if you are, then you're in our way, and that makes you a health hazard. That makes you a safety hazard. No, I need you to be in the background, giving us solid advice, and then trusting us to do what we need to do. So shout out to Dr. Winters. His channel, I'll post it in the description if you want to give him some appreciation this month. But
Absolutely.
that goes into my solutions, because education, if you don't care about the knowledge, then you will do this again. You will say, man, fuck them niggas over there, they're doing too much over there. Man, I didn't know black empowerment was like that, I can't do that. And then you'll end up on another hamster wheel somewhere else, and because it's probably not even black oriented, you might not come back. Well, because sometimes niggas don't want you back after you go some places, but that's a whole other conversation for another day. Taiesha, you have any final thoughts for the room, at least solution based, as far as how they can avoid cults or being a groupie?
Absolutely. This was definitely, I'll say this is probably one of my favorite exchanges. Like this was just so powerful and constructive. And I appreciate all the support, all of our family coming in and supporting. Right now, I highly, highly, highly suggest more exchanges, more talks like this. It's dangerous to isolate yourself and just, ride the wave of everything that comes at you. Definitely have yourself an inner circle where you can bounce whatever thoughts you have or ideas or share your journey, but also you'll have honest people around you say, hey, that don't sound right, or hey, that's a little out there. You might want to, think things through before you get in too deep. Immediately, for those who have Netflix, please, 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 please go check out How to Be a Cult Leader and learn about these incidents. Many of them happened before I was born, happened when I was a little girl, or I just didn't know anything about it. Social media is a relatively new thing, but um learn about the ways of these cult leaders and these crazy movements. There's actually another series on cults and extreme religions or something like that. It's on Amazon Prime, or I think it's on Freebie, one of the two. Check out those. Like, there are survivors of Jonestown. There are survivors of these different cult groups, the Yahweh Ben Yahwehs and stuff like that. Learn about that and break it down so that when these little red flags or these little things that make your hair stand up, you'll take that as a clue and protect yourself and protect others. And I don't want you to leave in someone who may be freshly on a journey or, just learning stuff. Don't be afraid to read. I have so many books, so many books. Don't be so quick to buy them off of Amazon. I go to thrift stores. It's okay. I mean, I still have books on The Secret. I still have some other stuff, but research every single person that, puts out some kind of message, some kind of book or whatever. Don't take it as face value. It's very easy to buy advertisements and clean up your image, get bright lights and a good makeup job and present the next thing to you. Research everyone, but purchase the books, read it for yourself. If you want someone to read you a bedtime story and read you a news time story, just go back to church where they cherry pick and they chew up the food and spit it in your mouth like a baby bird. But you're going to have to learn how to read. You're going to have to learn how to go out there and fish and break things down for yourself if need be. There's all types of reading comprehension courses. You can study some other ways that people have, but do for yourself. Make your own independent thought, but also stand on your morals, your principles, your values, and yeah, just be honest and keep living. Don't focus on stupid shit like the end of the world, the end times, the rapture, being left behind. That is silliness, okay? Live and appreciate everything every day. Stay healthy. You have people who are dependent on you and need you, but you need your damn self, okay? And if nobody told you today, I love you. So that's all I got.
That was wonderful. Love you too. And not just you, Tieesha. I love y'all. I love black people. I really, really do. And it will not be to my detriment. Y'all will not have me out here saying niggas ain't shit and these nigga bitches ain't shit as much as brother fuckers ain't shit. And right, yeah, the nigga bitches ain't shit. No, I love this conversation because uncomfortable conversations move people. And I'm not here to tell you where to go as much as I am telling you that if the math ain't mathin', then maybe you start to do some work to discover why. And when you discover why, it's okay to say that you fucked up. But do that. Say you fucked up and then do something else. Go dive down another rabbit hole. Because, like Tieesha said, worrying about the end of the world when a bunch of different times in the last 100 years, the end of the world was supposed to be the end of the world. If if that pattern isn't enough for you, then the books that y'all, or I'm sorry, the people you listen to tell you that you don't know the time. You'll not know that type of shit. That's way big when you've got some smaller things that you could take care of. Smaller. No, our reparative justice is very big, but it's so small in comparison. You worried about the end of the you worried about the eclipse because it's going to bring in the apocalypse, but you've never had anything to say about your actual day to day, what you could do to fix that. No, actually, you did. You had a, if you send me some money, then I will help you bless your alcohol, and it won't fuck you up as much as it'll fuck you up.
I'm gonna pull 5 tarot cards for you.
I'm gonna pull. Look, to a big point. You know, we loved Juan over here, but
Oh yes, we love him.
for
He
entertainment
cool.
purposes, you know, you guys could get some deeper understanding of you in a different way. But you shouldn't use that as the Bible either, because there nobody knows who you are. And for what it's worth, you don't even know who you are. Why? Because a lot of y'all are owed a debt and you haven't had the time to do the work as much as you just know that things will get better when we have balance. And I don't mean equality, I mean balance. I mean, when shit is where it's supposed to be, things will get better. But like you said, Tieesha, we got some eat the meat, spit out the bones type people. But I'm gonna tell you right now, it's a lot of fish with bones, and I've seen a lot of people get hung up on them damn bones. So, you know, be discerning, you know, maybe be more careful with the meat that you're putting in your body. And, you know, for what it's worth, I can't stress this enough. This is not a program. This is not me telling you how to be as much as if you're going to say that you're doing something, then I just kind of want you to be honest. But if you don't want to be honest, I got some shoes that I want to sell to you. You know, I got all sizes. That's there for you. Hit me up in the DMs. Um, y'all be easy and have a good night. And before we close it out, I am going to remind you about FBA Sunday School.